Joan. Joan. I'm going to find her, and I'm going to kill her. Welcome back.
Sanity has been preceded by bangle bracelets.
Bangles, beads, and slinky sounds. That was a really, really depressing movie, so let's have some happy talk during the third segment.
What? Who amongst us has not set someone's hair on fire in a casino? In a disco, though. I mean, right?
Talk about a bad hair day.
Everyone get all of your Burn Baby Burn, Disco Inferno. Get all those puns out now. Also, all the extra crispy bucket of chicken. All that. I know you've been saving them the entire runtime of that movie, so, do your best in the chat.
I don't know what this game was of the hands back and forth in the disco. The pulling the hands back and forth. I've never done that on a date or a blind date or anything like that. So,
I assume she was trying to get him to dance and he didn't want to.
Yeah, she wanted him to come out there.
Yeah, she was trying to get him to come out of the booth and dance.
And she just didn't realize that, like so many of us, his mom burned his wrists on the.
She got struck by boogie lightning.
Yeah, she did. So, I guess that's how it works.
The strange mating ritual that is disco. It didn't quite work out for our hero.
There are a few positive things in this movie. Bobby is a great friend. I mean, I've never had a friend willing to call off for me for an entire week of work, continually check up on me at all hours of the day and night, wondering how I am, and just really looking in on me. And that's positive. And two, our main character is really handy. I mean, who amongst us could construct a steel torture chamber in a week?
Like less than a week.
Less than a week. And operational. Like, we don't see the parts. Like, I put together IKEA furniture and the things are off and I got to take it apart and put it back together. No plans. There's no internet back then. And he did it with a hammer and just was hammering it onto walls and it worked perfectly.
Interesting. Darren says that he saw this with The Burning as the title. So apparently it was issued as The Burning at some point. Or maybe that was a pre-release print. I don't know.
Also, his mom's house is huge. I can't even imagine how much real estate worth that house is in New York. I mean, it's a monstrously huge house.
That, and I'm sitting there going, but all this furniture is beautiful that the corpses are sitting in.
Yeah.
It definitely was a furniture movie. I was obsessed with the bedroom that he slept in that had a staircase going up to an upper chamber.
Yeah, there. Is it a loft bedroom? Does it go up to an attic? Either way, I would have liked to know. Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think of less depressing things to say about this movie. It was even-handed in its depiction of disco because half the crowd was drunk and the other half was doing blow. So that's fair.
Yeah. I guess that was what they meant by boogie lightning.
I'm imagining the real estate agent that has to sell that house. Because people say, like, this house is gorgeous. Like, why is it so cheap? Well, let me show you the last room.
Well, it burns down at the end. So, somebody can just come in and build a whole new apartment complex, all of it, and then that shit's going to be haunted.
Oh, there's no way that this place is not haunted. I mean, there's enough stuff that happened.
Was he crazy or was it haunted? The mother kept appearing to him and the corpses got up and walked around. Those were great scenes.
Yes, I really do like when the corpses get up and walk around, particularly the dream sequence where they're dragging him into a hole. Those makeups they're not accurate, but they're effective enough. And I really liked the kind of dime store surrealism every time the corpses would, reanimate.
I think that's why people think of this being so close to obvious spoiler for Maniac. It only came out 42 years ago. But there's something similar that happens in Maniac.
I kept thinking of that gruesome scene in Amityville 3D where poor Candy Clark burns to death in her car, and they show the aftermath of this charred corpse. That seemed more accurate to what a burning victim would look like than the people in this movie.
I mean, my favorite burn corpse is Ben Tramer, because I like that. It's like 1 minute he's just hanging around, walking around. Next minute, just laying on a slab.
It happened fast.
It happened real fast, and nobody discusses it for the rest of the movie. Like nobody's like, "Hey, that kid got killed by the cops," and a rogue psychologist shot
Crazy psychiatrist, yeah.
A crazy psychiatrist that the cops have empowered to run the streets. But let's just concentrate on this one girl for the rest of the movie.
We're just never going to bring this up again.
Yeah.
You couldn't let anyone steal the show from Laurie.
No.
Except a bunch of nurses and orderlies.
I mean, if you got a whirlpool in your hot tub in your hospital and you're not using it, you should use it.
I mean, what's it there for?
Doctors
and nurses have hard jobs.
Yeah.
I want to talk to some people that actually live in a house, like the house in Don't Go in the House. I mean, do people still live in homes like that? And this was a working class guy. Yeah. His mother wasn't a doctor or,
Yeah, but we never really learn where his dad is, do we?
Did we? I don't think so.
So maybe like the house is all they have left after his dad left or died or whatever.
I was in a house like that once, Bill, in Squirrel Hill, because they have those really fancy houses there. And there was an estate sale, and this house was real weird. Like the kid's bedroom just had a utility sink in the middle of the room, like in the middle of the bedroom, and in the attic. It just felt weird. And there was just a closet full of Sports Illustrateds from the 40s. They just came spilling out when someone opened the door. I didn't buy anything.
Just in case it was haunted?
Yeah, it really felt like anything that came out of the house. I've watched enough Amityville movies to know if I buy a lamp, if I buy a monkey.
The Amityville estate sale?
Yeah. Amityville Dollar General, coming soon to a Dollar General near you. I'm trying to get that buy-in from Dollar General before we make the movie. I don't think they'll give their name over to it.
Do you see Donald as naive?
Not so much naive as just inexperienced, I guess. Like he's the original incel. He wants to connect with other people, but he can't because of this.
Doesn't know how.
Yeah, this traumatic childhood that he had. The evil of child abuse. We see it 2 more times in the film. His friend's wife is like screaming at him. She's like, "Get this kid out of here!" And then at the end of the film, obviously, so the cycle of not going into the house will continue.
Well, I always assume that's why the voices, appear to the next little kid. And that's the closest thing to a point that this film was trying to make. Is it haunted? You live in a pretty similar house, huh? How haunted is it?
I'm gonna come over to your house, Matthew.
Don't go in Matthew's house.
I will go in Matthew's house if he allows me to use his bathroom. The correct English would be don't go into the house. And if you say don't go in the house, you're talking about go. As in don't go in the house. That's a pretty sly joke to put in the title of your movie.
Just go right.
Why didn't they say don't go into the house?
Because it was kind of like Pittsburghism, how we kind of take words out. They're like, just call it don't go in the house.
I mean, at least out of all the don't movies, the warning in the title is applicable to the plot, which, it's a less than 50% shot.
This movie was a PSA against child abuse.
I mean, it doesn't quite stack up to little Rosemary DeSica, though. Even we couldn't convict her.
Remember Janet Jackson's character on Good Times? How her mother burned her with an iron. So maybe there could be a movie about her growing up and burning other people with an iron.
Oh, man.
You couldn't officially call it that, but, we could just in concept.
Yeah,
create
proof
a.
of concept.
There's
So-
one lady in the mob of Halloween Kills that is just carrying an iron with her.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Evil Dies Tonight, and she's got her press and curl iron.
that's what I love. She has like an iron. Everybody else has like guns, knives. She's like, I got what I got. She's got spray starch in the other hand. So
I mean, I guess you blind them with the spray starch, and then you bludgeon with the iron. Is that how that's supposed to work?
I mean, to be fair, I've dropped an iron on my foot before. It doesn't feel good. So I guess that was her.
Yeah, I think an iron would be a pretty good weapon. Actually, it has a great handle,
Just
as long as it didn't fall apart when you hit somebody with it.
It's like a Shaw Brothers weapon. That's what she was trying to go for. Kind of like a
Ms.
yo-yo.
45.
Yeah, the Iron Woman. It's my next slasher. It's got a lot of disco in it.
There should be more disco slashers. There really should. It would be so much fun.
Like there needs to be a scene where a mirror ball drops on someone like Suspiria style, and like the shards of glass go in their face and everything. That's what it needs.
This was right on the cusp of disco becoming really uncool.
Yeah.
Because by 1980, disco was a dirty word. Even at the end of '79, I think, is when that whole backlash against disco happened.
Disco Demolition Night in Chicago was like the Steve Dahl night that he did.
Let's go burn records that we paid for, because, like, you know.
That, and let's not pretend that half of these dudes weren't at a disco come the weekend, because that's where the girls were.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you're going to go where everybody else is going. It just all the disco sucks posturing just seemed like a whole lot of protesting too much.
They even had that Boogie Lightning song that was in it. I think there should have been a tie-in 12-inch single released to discos with a theme from Don't Go in the House. It wasn't unheard of.
Wouldn't even have been the strangest disco novelty record, not by a long shot. They should have just put it out.
I mean,
I found a 12-inch single in a record store once that was the disco version of the theme from Alien. And it was really exciting because I didn't believe it was real until I got it home and listened to it. And yes, it was Jerry Goldsmith's theme from Alien done disco style. And I found out later there were actually multiple Alien tie-in 12 inches. Yeah, there was another one that was even better than the one I had. So
I really am shocked that my parents didn't abuse me as a child, because I had the 12-inch of the Miko Star Wars disco bill, and I played it. I swear to God, I must have just had it on loop for like 8 hours a day. And like today, my dad had to hate me. Like,
maybe you just kind of like sonically abuse them into submission, where they're like, "Oh God, okay, just let him do it."
Is he going to play that Dickie Goodman record again, or is he going to play the Miko Star Wars again? I mean, it's either going to be one of these two. That's really all the records I listen to.
Did you annoy your parents with any records, Gigi?
It was impossible. My mom is super, super punk rock. So like the only way I could have annoyed her was by listening to like things that were so lame I wouldn't have wanted to listen to them anyway.
The Carpenters?
No, because the Carpenters could write a decent song, so they were deemed to be all right.
I like the Carpenters too, but they're considered, ultra square.
No, I would have had to, like started listening to like Christian music or something. That would have pissed her off, and I wasn't about to do that.
Mom, here's my new Sheila Walsh album.
Yeah, like DC Talk or something probably would have upset her. Pre-fame Amy Grant.
Before she went secular.
Yes. Usually it was the opposite way around. I'd have to be like, Mom, Jesus Christ, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Can you turn down your black metal? Like, stop it. Like, I have to be to school in the morning, ma'am.
I just think I played a lot of novelty records. Becca just yelled, I still do. Like, the sound effect records aren't meant to be listened to straight through, right? We just put on like a soundtrack record.
Were you just listening to like disembodied cues?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I had a whale sounds record that I got in an issue of National Geographic that I loved to listen to. And I would just put it on and just walk around my room listening to whale sounds. My love of Sonic Youth obviously made sense. later.
Also, your love of movies where not a whole lot happens. Like
Yeah.
you're very patient with a slow film, but you've been navigating by sound for years, so that makes sense.
Exactly. I had
I had
a Disney one that had sound effects, and I listened to it all the time.
Chilling, Thrilling Sounds of the Haunted House.
I had the science fiction one. They did the one like Tales from Hyperspace or whatever. It came out right around the time the Black Hole came out.
Oh, okay. Wow, I didn't have that one.
Yeah.
I had the Haunted House records, and also I had the Dickie Goodman album, Mr. Jaws, and there were 10 audio sketches on it, not just Mr. Jaws.
I had Dickie Goodman's Kong, which is the one that, on 45, and that's the one that I played nonstop.
Yeah.
And Stars on 45 too, as Bill and I talked about. I played a lot.
I wondered how long it would take for Stars on 45 to come up.
I had the whole album, not just the single. I had the album, and what a wonderful piece of business it is.
I mean, the fact that I think 15 or 20 years later, Stars on 45, like one of the Stars on 45 songs got a cover version from like modern studio musicians. Why? How?
Did it?
Yeah, absolutely did.
Now that's what I call music.
Don't Go in the House, unfortunately, didn't have any disco tie-ins.
Yeah.
But it definitely had Disco on the Brain, which is another reason I like it.
I really like the scene, but like I brought up before, but the candle throwing scene's really good, especially because that guy goes to the bar like, "Hey, is that your sister?" And who goes to the disco with their sister?
Wait, can we talk about how nobody seemed to be helping her while her hair was on fire?
Nobody even like puts their straw down. No one looks.
Becca just yelled something. One girl just kept dancing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. She's like, "Oh, what's going on? I can't believe this. I don't know what's happening."
Yeah, she's still like doing the hustle while looking at this girl's flaming head.
She thought it was just a stunt. She thought it was, it's the
Bianca
new thing.
Jagger riding in on her horse. Okay, bitch.
Yeah.
Disco Inferno.
It's the new thing they do in discos. They set their hair on fire. And there were no ambulances waiting outside to take her to receive medical attention.
No one calls the police. They go running to the parish priest instead.
Yeah.
And the velvet rope got one person more in. They're like, "Hey, somebody's head just caught on fire. We can let somebody else in."
It was very strange.
Yeah.
Almost like they weren't reacting like normal people would react.
Yeah.
The whole disco scene feels like very shoehorned in. Like, hey, I heard the youngs like this.
Yeah.
Hey, fellow kids, this has disco in it,
Yeah. I like when it's like my favorite music genre movies is movie punks because they're never accurate. It's just like, let's just put some color in these kids' hair. And they're always listening to something that sounds like hair metal or like kind of sort of new wavy, but it doesn't sound like punk at all.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody turned on a keyboard preset and just recorded it. That's
Bossa Nova.
I love wildly inappropriate background music, like Nail Gun Massacre when they're having sex on top of the car, and the song on the radio is about foosball, not football, but foosball. Or
it's an underrepresented pastime. What was the other thing?
When the song at the when they're having the party in the mall, it's about like street walking.
Yeah.
What?
Well, you know what? Chopping mall's wildly inappropriate because I like that they all go to the one kid's parents' furniture store and they're like, "Oh, they're gonna have a party." No, they're just gonna like soft swing. It's the weirdest. Like, how did we make this like left detour into this?
It's again, it definitely reads like people who are middle-aged plus trying to be like, that's how these youngs must behave.
Yeah. I think my daughter's going to furniture stores and banging everybody.
Yeah, like they all go into the mall after hours to have sex on demo furniture. What? Yeah. Just like how every era has like those weird moral panics. The knockout game, blue whale, lipstick, rainbow parties.
Rainbow parties,
these insane, like elaborate things. And it's like no teenager is actually going to do that. They barely have the fucking energy to get a slushie from the 7-Eleven.
It's like when I think it was the New York Times called Sub Pop, and they were like, "What are some of the grunge terms that we can use?" And they spent like an hour on the phone with them making up words, and they were all in the New York Times the next day.
thanks to everybody for coming and hanging out with us in the third segment. It looks like a lot of people clicked like already, so thank you.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate all the likes, all the shares, all the love. Thank you for hanging out super late.
What's next week, Bill?
Well, someone asked earlier if we were getting Straight Jacket. We're not getting it next weekend. That's just something we're going to do in the future. Next weekend, though, Grave of the Vampire, as you saw in the trailers. So that should be pretty exciting. That's one of my faves from late night TV in the 70s, and a really disturbingly violent vampire film, I might add.
And it proves my one rule true. Every movie should have William Smith in it. And Michael Pataki, so it doubles up.
For a while, every movie didn't it?
It did, and as it should be. And then what is it? The Blood Beast Terror? Is that the other one?
The Blood Beast Terror, Tygon Terror, and Peter Cushing stars.
Yeah, so double vampires next week. Pretty exciting. It's a theme. This week was hot and cold. Next week's vampires. The week after that, we're going to watch Jonathan Livingston Seagull and I don't know what else. I'm trying to think. And The Rescuers. Come back.
Watership Down.
Watership Down. Yeah. So, yeah, next week's pretty exciting.
No, I'm definitely down for double vampires.
Yeah.
I'll be hanging out in the peanut gallery, as always.
Blood will be drained.
Blood will be drained. Inappropriate, repressed eroticism will be expressed.
We're working on a guest for next weekend, but they haven't confirmed yet, so I'm not going to say anything. Sam, is there anything you got in the mail this week?
I got way too much in the mail this week.
I know you showed me some of it.
Well, let's go. I actually bought a movie this week, Bill, and I know you didn't like it as much as I did, but I bought it last night, so I really liked it. I liked it. I like Blu-ray. So bought that one, and I bought Breakin' 2 at the dollar store. If you're into canon movies, a lot of them are showing up at your local Dollar Tree. Breakin' 2, a whole bunch of other ones. Anyway, look at this, Bill. I sent Bill this as soon as I got it. The Antichrist on Blu-ray from Kino. Someone said, you know what? This really needs to be on 4K. And it's got a featurette with Morricone, so it's worth it, right? Just for that. FX1 and FX2. Another Kino. Kino's putting out a lot of MGM stuff. So hopefully they'll get some of the MGM canon stuff. Bill, this is my super exciting one of the week. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Right? And it's got
Wait, is that brand new?
It's brand new. Just came out. And it's got a ton of stuff in it. A ton of features. 2 different commentary tracks. It's got an interview with W.D. Richter in it. It even has the TV commercials, the radio commercials. Pretty exciting. Yeah, Kino just put that out. It comes out, I think, this week. I know that's one of your favorite movies.
It is. It's one of those movies that I can say I was there for. Because I saw it right around the time it opened. Really did not know what to expect. I was really young, and it was PG, but it was super scary.
I can't believe it's PG. The human-headed dog at the end is one of the most upsetting things I've ever seen. So,
I was thinking more about Donald Sutherland's face being broken open with a hoe.
Oh.
That's pretty R-rated.
Used to be able to get away with when PG was the last stop.
It's amazing.
Also, here's what else came in: God's Gun, some Italian westerns, pretty cool. And then
Lee Van Cleef.
Mill Creek's putting out a lot of stuff. I got a ton of Mill Creek stuff here. I love these packaging, the VHS packaging.
Classy.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, for Side Out. Yeah. So glad that was the first one when Becca opened them up today. She's like, what's this? I'm like, oh. But I was redeemed because the Skulls trilogy, who knew there were 3 Skulls movies? There are. Only one important one is Becca just yelled out from the couch. Some more Ultraman. They're putting out a lot of cool Ultraman stuff from Mill Creek. This is Ultraman 0. And then they're putting out a ton of conspiracy sets. So we have the Knights Templar and the Freemasons. And we have the New World Order, American Apocalypse. You're living.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
you're
what
living
the
it.
world needs right now.
Yeah, exactly. Ancient Alien Enigma.
Wait, does that have to do with the TV show?
Yeah. No, it's I think it's just kind of stuff around it. There's like some Anunnaki aliens in Egypt. This is the stuff that my dad watches all day. Like my mom just puts Tubi on for him and just picks like run documentaries. And then like when I visit him, he tells me all this stuff. He loves it. And Alien Agenda. Those are the ones that they put out. Those are from Mill Creek. And yeah, if you have I do not work for Dollar Tree. I have $1.25 tree, I should say.
Dollar plus tax. Tree.
Yeah, it's $1.25 here now. But there are a lot of good movies. I got One Cut of the Dead, a lot of Shudder stuff. Mama Monsters is there. There's a lot of cool Japanese stuff that's been showing up, and I actually got a couple of Hong Kong movies too, shockingly. So you never know what you're going to get, but they've been getting new stuff in all the time. I got Kid Galahad, which is a late FGM Elvis release, and Boxcar Bertha, the Scorsese movie, has been showing up, and I got New York, too,
wow.
which is kind of cool to have on
DVD or Blu-ray. Boxcar
DVD, unfortunately, for New York. But it's $1, right? So, I mean, it's a cool movie to have if you don't have it. And so there's been a lot of cool stuff showing up, and I just dig through the stuff. And Matt has a question. Yeah.
Matthew, just the two, just twice. In one case, I'm giving some recommendations on underseen exploitation movies. I would love to show you guys Baba Yaga at some point because I found it the other day. And then a wrap up of December. I've only been on that particular podcast twice.
I'm 100% behind Baba Yaga being on, especially because George Eastman's in it. And it feels like another movie that if I had to be like, what movie would you like? I would probably put that on my list. Of like
I have the full size poster in my bedroom. It's taller than I am. And I think if we ever did it, I would set up in there just so you guys could see it.
Yeah.
It's a for sure thing now. We'll have to do it.
I mean, I don't know. How many of you would actually want to watch that movie? Lots of Euro weirdness. It involves Carol Baker. It is based on a series of erotic comics. Is that something you guys would want to watch?
Does the poster have the comic art on it? Because I've seen some of the posters with the comic art. Does the poster have the comic book art?
No, the poster has a painting of Ellie Galliani and her bondage gear front and center, even though she's only in the movie for like 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then has the actual 2 stars of the movie, Carol Baker and Isabelle Deflun, just in the background, just their faces. It's kind of hilarious that the chick who's in the movie for 5 minutes and has 3 lines is front and center on the poster.
Yeah, I have the old, I think Blue Underground put it out a long time ago that wasn't the complete version.
Yeah, Shameless put out the complete, but honestly, the scene that was missing was an extra on the Blue Underground, and it really doesn't add anything other than a little more nudity. Mm-hmm. So if you see like, a incomplete, I guess, print of this particular film, it doesn't matter all that much.
And a comic book movie, like you said, which is crazy.
Yeah. I really wish more of the actual comic book was translated into English because the story is really interesting, being that it changes genres like really drastically through the course of the run, and the character ages basically in real time.
Well, and plus the character wasn't even the lead character originally. It was like a superhero book, and she was like the sidekick originally.
And then she got her own series, and it moved away entirely from like superhero and like science fiction kind of stuff into something a lot more erotica focused and stranger.
Yeah.
So again, I wish more of it was translated into English.
Prepax's art's really crazy too. Like especially it's
gorgeous.
It's like very Art Deco-y pen and ink.
Yes. Very like Art Deco meets pop art. Very clean.
Yeah. I always notice like it's always eyes and lips. Like is the most important things in life.
Yeah, like everybody's Clara Bow.
Yeah.
In his universe.
Yeah. I was obsessed with his art when I first saw it in my teens, and I was like, I can't, like, because American artists don't draw like comic artists don't draw like that. Outside of maybe Steranko, there's not too many other ones that draw like that.
I love Steranko for just that reason. like such good design. Like it just feels nice on the
He
visual.
did the production art for what do you call it? Dracula. The what do you call it? The one with Keanu Reeves in it.
Oh, that's an unfortunate movie.
Well, he hates it, but his storyboards are beautiful, and he did the illustrations for Raiders of the Lost Ark. They used a couple of them for the merchandising, but when they first did like the pitches to studios, they actually had him paint like 6 or 7 of the scenes, and they're beautiful. Like Steranko's like probably my biggest influences in art. Either him or Ditko, my 2 biggest influences is comic art. And he did Preview Magazine, which was a big comic, like science fiction horror kind of magazine. Not the preview, the mainstream one.
Does everybody hear that screaming, or is it just me?
I heard it.
I thought it was the voices again. They've been telling me to burn people.
Burn the evil out.
Also, Bill, I wanted to mention, if anyone hasn't seen it yet, there's a ton of good stuff on Shudder this month. If people are bored and with all this snow, all the folk horror stuff's up there. Like Allison's Birthday is really good, and that's up there. If you're looking for something to watch. Or you could be like me and just watch American Ninja again. I made Becca watch it today. She's still talking.
It's fine.
Yeah. She's still talking to me, so that's good.
Well, we watched Dolls for Becca.
I
So
know. But I put her through a lot of really bad movies. I'm like, what if, like last time, like, do you want to watch Breaking 2 with me again? No, I don't ever want to watch that movie. And I'm like, do you want to watch Rappin'? No. Do you want to watch Hot Chili? It's all like 1983 canon movies. No. So I'm not going to put her through that hell. Do you want to watch Lemon Popsicle 4? Private Popsicle? That's the name, but I can't make that up.
Does anybody have any podcasts they're going to be on? Somebody wanted to know earlier.
No, not yet. If I do, I will announce it on like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you know anyone that has one that wants to talk to me, send them in my direction. I'm always happy to chat movies.
What about you, Sam?
No, I don't. I have some stuff that I can announce in a couple weeks. I asked today. I talked to Bill about it. I can't announce it yet, but there's some stuff coming up.
You have some very exciting stuff to talk about coming up, but you can't say any of it.
I'm really excited.
Frustrating,
yeah, it'll be good. But Bill, any news on the blanket front?
Oh no!
How goes the blanket war, Bill?
The blanket is apparently being reordered right now, so hang tight. Everybody who wanted one will get a chance to buy one.
I actually had mine on today.
You had it on? Did you wear it out of the house?
I didn't wear it out of the house. I should have worn it as a cape to the show tonight. It is very, numerous people, my mother-in-law wants one, and numerous family members want one because they saw the quilting on the inside of it. It's not just the top. The design is beautiful, but the actual blanket quality is superb. It's an overall great blanket. It's form and fashion.
Turning upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so impressed by how not cheap it is. I thought it was good. You never know. You never know if you're actually going to get something that's when you set up.
Mike is Morton's this evening about this blanket yet again. Salty, just salty. I heard they discontinued that blanket.
I really think there would be a Snuggie version. I'm with Scott. If there was a Snuggie version, I would 100% be wearing it right now.
I think that's a very good idea. We should get working on it right away.
I tend to be chilly, so don't be surprised if I'm like, it's a cape. It's fashion. Look it up.
Yeah, I think that that's the right time of the year for more blankets. Everybody can make shirts and pins. Everybody has that merch. But a blanket.
Everybody in chat is from all over the United States, but I hope you didn't get completely buried with snow.
Sean Midas.
I know Gigi did. Gigi got buried in snow.
Well, buried here is relative because you nobody has cars. So if it's, past the height of the average person's knees, yeah, that's a pretty big pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just have.
Sam, how bad is it in Monongahela?
It's not bad. We still have a good amount of snow from last week. We got, I think, 13 inches last week, and then we got snow. Waka waka. Anyway, yeah, it's freezing. That's about it. But it's winter. It's January in Pittsburgh. I mean, I don't know what anyone else expected. People are like, I was really getting used to this global warming. Stick around.
Yeah, last winter was pretty mild, and this one we got some real harsh storms. So,
this is the most snow we've had since 1994, they said.
Hope everybody's doing okay.
Cubby hates it the most because his paws shut off moments after they hit the snow. I took him out for a walk before this segment, and he was walking, and he just went, nope, and his paws just went, and they just shut off. So I had to pick him up and carry him back. Sometimes you got to put him under the hot water and warm his little feet up.
Do you have the little shoes for him? Will he put them on?
He would not put them on. He did put his jacket on, though. He had his little puffer vest on, and he went out.
Because when I had a dog, I had to do the little tiny, it was a small dog, so little tiny puffer vest and the little tiny booties, and she absolutely hated them.
Yeah. I've never had an animal that would let me do that to it. Put anything on it.
I think Andy the cat would, Bill.
Well, Andy and I have a special relationship.
Becca has the secret ability to get clothes on any animal. Because one day I came in and she had a T-shirt on Andy, and I'm like, you can't put a shirt on a cat. And he did. He's incredibly fat, and he was ballooning out. He looked like a Michelin man, but he did it. So.
Oh yeah, it can be done, but not to just any old cat.
Yeah, just certain cats.
Speaking of things that we can't talk about, but we really want to badly. You all need to just start clearing your calendars for the last weekend in April for the April Ghouls Drive-In Monsterama in Vandergrift, PA. It's 2 nights of 80s horror, and it's just going to blow you away when you see the lineup. So don't even wait to find out what the movies are. Just start planning on it right now. You can go to the Drive-In Super Monsterama is the name of the page. It's on Facebook, so you can go there, and they're going to make announcements about what the movies are sometime, probably in the next week, hopefully.
Bring your blanket.
Finally, we can. Yes.
Bill will sign your blanket with ketchup. We'll spill a drink on your blanket. Come on out.
That's what's more likely to happen.
Yeah. My favorite thing, though, is in between movies, the excitement of Bill and I getting wired up about what trailers come next. That's really the highlight of it for me.
I imagine if I ever came down there to attend, I just end up having to be like that. Bill doesn't want to talk about that. Sam doesn't want to talk about that. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't make the rules.
Yeah. We're going to have a special tent, like festival seating. You know what I mean? Like at a festival, you have the VIP ones. We'll just be back there no, I would never do that.
I've worked the door at enough nightclubs. Excuse me, what? You want to talk about what? No.
Tracy.
Yes.
I don't know if you know this, but you can camp overnight at April Ghouls. It's only $10, I think, and they make you breakfast in the morning too.
Sometimes Tom Savini makes you breakfast. That's right. I'm not making that up.
Oh, that is an actual thing that happened.
Yeah.
You're not being facetious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Savini usually goes to those, and I at least one year he made everybody breakfast on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So it's kind of exciting.
There's nothing like being in the bathroom and peeing and looking over and Tom Savini's peeing next to you. I mean, it's that kind of experience. He's like, yeah, hey, what's up? Live your dreams. So I guess.
Pinhead, Doug Bradley, he shows up there sometimes because he lives in the area now.
Mm-hmm.
Who else have we seen there? Well, the guests that have been arranged, like Felissa Rose, she was there last time.
She had the longest line. Her line never stopped, and yet she spent time with every single person. It's pretty amazing. I know everybody had a blast with that too. And the food's great. I mean, you could just go for the food. honestly. Except for the pierogi pizza, outspoken disliker of the pierogi pizza. Everything else has been excellent. You can't put mashed potatoes on bread with no other flavor. It's just like
what manner of nonsense? What? I'm sorry, what? My brain just broke a little bit.
Pierogi pizza is just literally a white pizza shell with just
yes, I understand conceptually what it is. What I'm asking is who the hell thought that was a good idea?
Someone.
I thought, well, maybe they'll put like sauerkraut on it, or they'll put like kielbasa on it, or cheddar cheese, or something to like
sour cream, like green onion, something.
Yeah, like something. So there's like a different consistency, but instead it was just like a mouthful of starch. It was like just starch on starch. So.
All right. So it's been great hanging out with everybody tonight. And Gigi, thanks for being on the show this week.
Thank you for having me back. Everybody stay warm, stay safe.
And Sam, I'm glad that you managed to make it for the second segment.
Thank you. Sorry to be late. Hey, got one other exciting announcement, Bill.
What's that?
Jess Franco month starts. Franctuary starts February 1st. I watched 145 Jess Franco movies. Oh boy, it was fucking painful. But they're almost done, and they're going to be on the site. You know what?
It's kind of like that movie Super Size Me.
Yeah.
And then Super High Me.
Yeah. They're all the same movie. Like literally, like plot-wise.
Yeah, after a certain point, it's just variations of the same movie.
They're either Dr. Orloff or they're just like, hey, I made this home movie of Lena Romay, and I want you to see it. And you're like, I don't know if I want to see that. You're going to see it. And that's what it is for an hour and a half. So. And
that's on BNS About Movies?
It is.
.com.
.com starting. And then Canon Month's the next month. I'm super jazzed. Nobody loves Canon maybe more than me, other than maybe even more than the people that owned it. So I'm real excited.
Right on.
Thanks, guys.
All right. And we'll see you next week. Hopefully, you'll come back and hang out with us and watch some more fantastic films. Bye-bye.
Under 16, not admitted, without parents or guardians.